right, we're ready?
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh!
Woof.
You must bounce on it. Crazy style.
Christ. Okay.
I always wonder what happened if Mr. Frump ended up dirty talking.
Oh my god.
Well, welcome everyone back to Into the Murder Party. It is our first episode of the year. Everyone's here. Do I need to? Sure, fine. I'll go ahead. Please welcome. We have, of course, the lovely Xeiren.
Hello.
The equally as lovely Graveturtle.
Hello.
The Belgian in wolf's clothing, Varren Kimbold.
I have seen things in this world that will make Isaac Newton crawl back up his mother's womb.
God, I love that line. And we also have the awesome Wolfman Roy.
Seems that the black and sulfur will not make the gold tonight.
We also have the Chaotic Doctor.
Let me lay with you one last time, dear. Even if you're so very, very cold.
And my good buddy, Pass the Remote. Ah!
That's off to ya.
I was not ready.
Rats off to ya.
I see.
Oh God, even the teeth are yellow. Jesus.
I was not. I was not ready.
Oh no, now I'm flanked between two vampires. Fuck! No!
Play nicely. You can eat them behind. You can eat them after the credits.
Hey now.
My name is Slowpoke Rodriguez.
Oh God.
And I am, of course, your hostess with the mostest, the Mistress Ookami. And we are covering... Now, you may have seen the title. If you didn't see the year, you may have seen the title and been like, wait a minute, didn't you Chucklefucks already cover this movie? And if you thought that, good for you. You have actually been following us for a while. That's awesome. But
Why are you still here?
Don't scare them away.
That's Pass's job.
They're still here for the titties.
Oh, true.
Good point.
And they get more every day. Hey! Yeah, no, we did cover this movie. The original. As
And
well.
Shadow of the Vampire.
And Shadow of the Vampire. Turns out we now have a remake. An official
The second one.
Second
A second remake. yes.
remake. Apparently there's supposedly one from the 70s I kept seeing.
Yeah,
But...
Yeah, no, it was
That
written
is
by
what
Werner
it's
Herzog of all
done.
people.
Oh.
Yeah, I think it's got Klaus Kinski as
Kinski, yeah.
Orlok.
We might have
Well,
to...
it's actually Dracula in that one because they just, for some reason, Herzog
Oh,
just
that's
chose
right.
to just
Oh,
use
okay.
the regular Dracula names for that one.
It's because
Okay.
Bram Stoker had gone full public domain at that point, so they could
Yeah.
basically use the Dracula name.
That's right.
And Herzog was like, okay, fuck it.
Okay. So...
Did Klaus Kinski eat a boot?
Not quite.
Not quite.
But as an actual remake of the original, it's been over. I checked it. I checked the fucking dates. It's been over
102 years.
102 years.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Better late than never.
No. The green light and general planning happened 100 years ago. Well, look, back 2 years ago.
Okay, I was gonna say.
Yeah, like
Hollywood
Robert Eggers. Robert Eggers has been wanting to do this movie for like at least 9 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
So basically,
It
ever
just-
since he did the Vitch.
Ever since he did the Vitch, he wanted to do this one as well because apparently also back in the day in his high school days, he actually put up a play of Nosferatu, and eventually, like through some other things happening with that play, he was able to do like bigger venues. He was like, okay, that's what I'm gonna do. And now I'm gonna be a director as well. And then it was just his dream project to do a Nosferatu version at some point.
Now, I mean, I have seen high school put on plays of Alien. That was a thing.
That was a
You
thing.
can catch it on
Yes.
YouTube too.
Yes, you
You
can.
catch it on YouTube because the fact is they did a second thing, and Sigourney Weaver came out and basically started the party out.
Yep.
And she was so happy being there.
So
But yeah, this is. I mean, Nosferatu is one of those movies. It really is. You know, it's a silent movie, and there's a lot of folks. It's like, ooh, it's a little rough, but it is. Without that, film history would be very different.
oh yeah.
Extremely different, and we wouldn't have had it if not for some people smuggling the movie out of the country.
That's
Yes.
true.
Like, because they
Yes.
got sued to shit.
Mhm.
Like-
Yeah.
Bram Stoker's
Not
wife.
Pikachu, please don't sue.
What did you say, Doc?
Thanks, Bram Stoker's wife.
Yes.
Well, she was in her rights technically.
Yeah.
She was
No,
in
no,
her
no.
right, yeah.
Let's be
Yeah.
honest. Let's be honest. The original Nosferatu is quite literally just the story of Dracula, but with the serial numbers filed off.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. And they
She
did,
was well within her rights to sue for a copyright infringement.
What I
and it becomes even more intense when you realize that this was going on during a time where women couldn't make their own money. They couldn't own their own property or anything like that. The only way this woman was surviving was on her
Mhm.
famous husband's estate,
Mm-hmm.
of which she controlled. So when they decided to make this film, they were literally eating into her own pantry
Yep.
Yeah.
by doing it. And
Yeah.
so, yeah, she was well within her rights, but at the same time, I'm
Mhm.
like, am I super glad copies of it survived?
Yes.
Yeah, because without this being the like gateway drug for most people to experience German expressionistic filmmaking, like we'd be living in a different world. But
Oh, yeah.
I
No.
will say, just to keep it on the modern,
Mm-hmm.
like Eggers just took the entire vibe of the silent film and ran with it
Mm-hmm.
into
Yeah.
just like I keep thinking about fucking Spinal Tap. It's like, but this one goes to 11.
This one goes to 11.
I was about
Yeah.
I was about to say, like, I couldn't help but I watched it in the theater, and I couldn't help but make the joke because, like, you're in a dark room, and then most of the screen is black, and all I can hear in my head is, I can't fucking see anything.
I saw this Christmas night because I had to work Christmas Day. So, you know, do Christmas stuff with the family the day before and then go to work, then come home and it's like, you know what? Let's go see some vampire.
Yep.
And, you know,
I
which-
did this.
and-
I did the same.
And it was actually a very very nicely crowded theater. I was like, "Oh, that's good."
For me, it was funny. In my screening, I actually had like a few couples walk out of the movie.
I watched people freak out, and I loved it.
and it wasn't even during like any very intense scene at some point. It's just at some point, like just a few couples was like just walked out. I was like, okay, well, this is your loss, I guess.
I was the one thing I was not prepared for was like, oh, you not only took you know, not just the aesthetics of the, like, you took the names, you took everything from the original Nosferatu. Okay,
Yep.
all right, I
The
see what you're
names,
doing.
The settings, the general vibe.
Yeah,
It's
Because
just making it all its own, and even injecting a lot more folklore into it as
Mhm.
well.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
if you are not aware of the original Bram Stoker story, it's set in like 1880s, 1890s London, something
Mhm.
like that. I cannot remember exactly the time, but there's like trains and all that. And here, no, dude's got to take a month and ride on a horseback.
Mhm.
Yep.
Damn.
This takes place in the 1830s.
Yep.
1830s
Germantown.
somewhere in one of the German states.
Weimar.
Well, it's a fictional city, but I believe it takes place in the area of Bavaria,
Bavaria.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Yeah, which
because that one is the
does-
closest to the Carpathian Mountains.
it does raise some questions that I will get into later, but
Yeah, I think we're only going to say a few more things before we say spoiler alert. For those who, don't want to have too much spoiled.
It's on DVD and like.
no, we need
like-
big spoilers on our cars to reduce.
Big freaking spoilers.
drag.
My rear can fly.
We also
off
haven't
while
really
I drive.
talked about the cast yet as of late.
Yeah, like,
Yeah, that's true.
I did just want to say real quick, like, just on the film's aesthetic alone, like the whole thing with the film. Yes, it is a beautiful film. Everything, all the entire cinematography, everything is fucking gorgeously shot.
Mm-hmm.
I do want to say the only negative that I had with this film, the only true negative, is something that is going to be up to you whether or not you have this problem. And that is literally just that it's Nosferatu. I have the issue where my brain goes, I know the story. I know that this was originally Dracula. Why am I not watching Dracula? My brain just suddenly goes, I'm dealing with a knockoff. That's
Okay,
but that's me. But that's
Yeah.
me. That's what I.
Look. You're used to bald head, rat faced Nosferatu. You're not used to. You're used to rat faced Orlok. You're
Which-
not used to
Yeah.
Cajun Carpathian Cossack.
Which it could be that, but also it's a problem I had with the original Nosferatu. My brain literally just goes, I'm watching the story of what's supposed to be Dracula. Why
Yeah,
am I?
that's-
What it is, it's
Yeah.
it's Okami's eating Oreos and like, why aren't these Hydrox?
That I can answer to. So, give me a second.
Okay.
Hear me out.
Mm-hmm.
Dracula
Mm-hmm.
is a science fiction movie,
Okay.
whereas Nosferatu is an esoteric movie.
Okay.
We use science to fight Dracula,
Mm-hmm.
whereas
That's
in
true.
Nosferatu we use esoteric.
Okay.
To me, like the difference between Dracula and Nosferatu is kind of like they have they have the same basic plot structure, but it's a lot like those movies where that have a lot of similar vibes to them. Like how many different versions of haunted mansion with Victorian woman ghost are there?
Mm-hmm.
And they're all different experiences because they lean into different aspects of that same basic story structure.
Mhm.
And with Dracula, you have the romantic, sexy vampire,
Mm-hmm.
and with Nosferatu, you have the grotesque, folkloric vampire. And to me,
Orlok not sexy? Aw.
those are two very.
I'd rather be
Depends-
taken
depends
by
on-
Daddy Lugosi, but
It
Well,
depends.
I
It
mean,
depends
to
on
be
what
honest,
corners of
Daddy
India you go
Lugosi
to.
is very handsome.
But they're very different experiences. Nosferatu has always felt a lot more oppressive than Dracula, and so to me,
Yeah.
they're like, they
Mhm.
have the same basic story structure, but they're very different.
Yeah.
They're very different. I never felt like watching any version of Nosferatu that I'm just watching a knockoff version of Dracula, just because like the feel of the stories is very different, even though they have a similar structure.
for me, it's why it's why I said it's a personal thing. It's definitely not it's
Right.
not anything on the film. It is nothing a knock at the film.
No, yeah. And if I can also put something in here, the whole Eurotrash sexy vampire came from the Varney the Vampire book, and was sort of amalgamated into Dracula lore when they did the movies.
I can see that.
Don't worry, pass. I think Orlok.
That's good.
Yeah.
If I could reach,
when it
if
comes
this
to,
VTuber could move her arm, she'd pat your head.
I think when it comes to the original 1920s version of Nosferatu, that one is, you can definitely see that one's a very condensed version of Dracula because it just focused on the main big plot twists. However,
Yeah.
I think especially with this one, like the 70s one already did a few things to make it more distinct. This one, I think, again, does a lot more to make it its own particular movie. Yes, you can still see the beats of Dracula, but I think like with this one, especially how it handles Ellen as a character, and how the rats are way more used in this one. I think there's a lot more examples in this one that make it more distinct compared to the first one from the 20s.
Oh yeah, no,
Yeah.
definitely,
And I kind of like the fact that Eggers didn't go super, like there was, there's some surrealness to it, but it is like, it's nowhere like super surreal and expressionistic, because I feel like then you would actually be competing against like Bram Stoker's Dracula, where it's like, let's not do that, because that thing, that movie is its own thing, and you don't want to compete against
The
that.
closest,
Yeah.
definitely the closest you get is when our.
I love that
Kamala
movie, by the way, though.
When
I
Kamala
also
is
love that
in Transylvania, and just like you have like the deep blues representing the cold, and then just the way they shoot certain parts of the castle are very, very like German, kind of
You know
very
what I
German,
also-
like Calgary.
I'm trying to remember. It's been a while. I only saw it once, but I think they also did one of the things that the original Nosferatu used was they used like the painting of the frames of certain scenes to kind of denote like day and night.
Yeah.
So like you'd have like your orange and your blue.
Yep, that's
before
one particular version
everyone
of
complained
Nosferatu.
about that shit. Where they would use like the orange kind of golden color as like daytime, and the blue for night, because I mean it was a black and white movie. You kind of have to do something.
Yeah.
And I think that they kind of had some kind of where the color palette would be a little different during night. I want to say they did that, but I can't remember. I
They
have to
kind
go
of-
and rewatch that.
They did.
You're
Especially
talking
in
about the color.
Transylvania.
You're talking about the color coded version. That is one version that exists.
This
There's
is,
also
I
just
like that
there's
version.
also the full
That's the
just
one I remember.
grayscale.
Mm-hmm.
There's also
I
just
like
the
it.
full grayscale one, which is the one I tend to watch. personally.
I think the last time I saw it was the color coded one, which I kind of like, because it's like, okay, the one thing with the grayscale in the 20s, it's hard to tell day from night because it's all shot at the same time,
But yeah, before we get fully into it, talking to cast, because cast is also going to be where I'm going to bring up something that's a personal thing, not a knock at the film, but something that caught Xeiren off guard when we talked about it. I want to say that this is a fantastic film. I definitely highly recommend it. I think everybody should go see it, as long as you can handle, really graphic shit, because this is graphic on multiple levels. But it's good. If you can handle an intense film like that, definitely check it out. I highly recommend it. 2 thumbs up. Woo! So,
and if you like Eggers' other movies, you'll like this one. I think like he really nails that kind of
Very much.
period piece.
Oh, yeah.
He loves doing those.
If
And
you like how
so
he
good.
if you like how he handles period pieces like he did in The Witch, and you also love how he handles just absolutely severe psychological horror, like he did in The Lighthouse. This is a really good blend of things he's done in the past, and again, the volume cranked up to 11. This was him giving zero fucks about what anybody else thinks, and he just made the movie he wanted to make.
True, and I respect that. Although he didn't have a baby get turned into salsa like he did. in The
no
Witch.
baby salsa.
No, but something else happened to children in this one.
yes!
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
And yeah, the also his next film is Werewolf. He has announced this.
Ooh.
It's going to be a period piece with a werewolf back in like that.
The werewolf.
Yeah, with the werewolf. It's him doing Wolfman. and he has said
Okay.
it's going to be his most
Fuck.
over-the-top graphic film yet, and I'm like,
Oh,
motherfucker,
yeah.
I just watched Nosferatu.
Listen,
Bring it.
Listen. I need this.
Ookami just said,
I need this because I have heard enough about the new Wolfman movie that recently came out, and I'm over here just like, give it to me. I
that
need it.
one. We gotta wait for that one.
Yeah, we'll
That's
get
a
to that
discussion for another day.
Yeah,
We'll get to
that'll
that
be our
one,
next.
yeah.
That's our next episode. But yeah, that.
But no,
one-
Ookami. The way that she was saying that, it kind of came off like the thing of when you nut, but she's still sucking kind of thing.
a little bit, but really,
A
I'm
little
just
bit.
like, I stop and I go, what the
Okami
fuck are you
needs-
talking
needs a
about? It's gonna be
cigarette
your
and
most.
none to relax.
Yeah, but I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? It's gonna be your most over-the-top violent graphic. I'm like, bitch, I've
I
just
can imagine
seen
a few
several things that are like that you've done that are like really over-the-top and graphic, and then finally it's just like, oh, okay, you know what? No, fuck it, bring it on. Let's see what you've got. What do you consider too far? I'm gonna regret
Little
those words. So.
Yes, you
And
are.
This
Yes,
this
you
is
are.
this is a pipe dream thing, but if he does that movie, I do want one part of the soundtrack be Powerwolves 1589.
That would be amazing.
Yeah, but you know what? A Wolfman, like I will say, I do find that a werewolf movie needs to be a little like I do like vampire movies that are graphic, but I feel like a werewolf movie needs to be a little more graphic because it's not just draining blood; it is literally
Shredding.
mauling the fuck out of
Yeah.
someone.
That's very animal instincts.
True.
Like even more
Wait.
so than
I know if he makes it a period piece in the '80s, he can have the werewolf be on cocaine.
He said he's not going to do anything remotely modern. All of his films going forward are all going to be back.
And
to
then,
the
and,
day.
then, and then it could actually be a snowflame origin.
That would be amazing. So, spoilers. Spoiler alert. If you don't want to hear us break down this film, then just go pause the stop here.
Go watch the movie and
Go-
come back.
Yeah, go watch the movie and come back. All right, has everybody seen it? Okay, good. So,
Oh my god, they finally gave him a reason to actually want to be chasing Ellen.
yes.
I'm so happy. I'm so
So, let's get into that cast real quick.
Oh
Yeah.
Our leading lady is being played by Lily Rose Depp. This
She
is
is
her
up.
fucking redemption. Holy
Yeah.
shit.
And I believe that I can't remember if it was
She shouldn't have had to
this
redeem in the
or-
first place. God
or
damn
if
it,
it
Kevin.
was the other
Nani?
Anya
Yoga
Taylor-Joy was going to be cast.
Oh.
I think either as this or as the other female character. I can't remember what. It just scheduling conflicts.
Mhm.
Because remember, Anya Taylor-Joy's been in a number of Edgar's works.
Yeah. So you got Lily,
She started her thing as the Vitch.
you got Lily Rose Depp. You got
Uh-huh.
Nicholas Holt
She was great.
as
I
Thomas.
love him. He's in so much good
Which is
stuff.
like his second kind of sort of Dracula movie with Renfield.
I
as
know.
well.
You had Renfield.
oh yeah, huh, yeah.
Yeah, that was a little surreal. It's like, wait, you were Renfield. Now you're basically playing Discount Jonathan Harker.
Yeah,
Okay.
we've got Aaron Taylor Johnson as Friedrich. We got Willem fucking Dafoe
For the third time in a row in an Eggers movie.
Yeah.
as Professor
is
Albin.
This is definitely the
again,
most loose
this
I've
is-
ever seen him.
Again, this is the thing. Some directors, they get a posse. People, I guarantee it's like he gets a call. Hey, we're doing a movie. I'm in.
Oh no,
Think about it.
the thing
It's
is,
like
it's him
Tarantino.
It's
him
like,
coming back into a Nosferatu film.
Well,
yeah, because
that's the
he
big
played,
thing.
He
It's like-
played Count Orlok in Shadow of the Vampire,
Vampire.
Yep.
and now he's
Yeah.
basically playing the Van Helsing character
Yep.
Yep.
in Nosferatu. And the crazy thing is like it's just so multi-layered with Willem Dafoe on this one.
Mhm.
It's like he just can't get away from this movie at all.
No.
He had no choice. It literally came into existence as a script, and the gravitational pull of it just sucked Willem Dafoe in.
Which is
Defoe
fun.
is so great.
Love him
And-
in this.
But yeah,
And yes, yes, Paz, as someone who is now a part of one of those crews, you're absolutely right.
yeah, no. I mean, you see it like it's basically Tarantino just gives Samuel L. Jackson a call, like, "Hey, I got something for you. All right, let's do it."
Well, the
It's-
thing
it's
is as
that
well
kind
with
of thing.
Defoe's role in Eggers movies, it was after he saw The Witch, he was just so enamored by this guy. So then he like called him like, "Hey, you got something for me?" And then got the Lighthouse. Eventually got called back then for the Northman, and then they got called back for Nosferatu.
Yep.
So
You know what? And that happens. I mean, I remember seeing The Witch in theaters. That was an experience, and there wasn't anybody else in that theater when I saw it. I was sad.
like
But,
there's a good video I saw. I think it was like on GQ's YouTube channel, which was just Defoe and Eggers just shooting the shit about whatever, and you can really feel the admiration both guys have for each other's works,
Mhm.
and it's so nice to see.
Then finally we have Bill Skarsgård as Count Orlok, and this is I'm going to say my piece on my other personal thing with this film. I don't have a problem with... I see all of you turning to me. I don't have a problem with Orlok.
Wait.
I don't have a problem with Skarsgård. He's a great actor. All
I
of
didn't
this
have
is
a problem with him either.
is fantastic. Like Orlok is really well done. I have a bit of a personal issue that I haven't figured out why, but it will take me out of a film.
It's the mustache.
I think for me, he's almost already being typecasted. I just see him. I see
He's not
Skarsgård.
He's not blending into the role, is what you're.
Yeah, and it's in the same way of like
Strongly disagree.
I saw
Yeah,
that
I
and I'm
don't know
like,
that I
oh,
would agree with
Pennywise is
that.
here. Okay.
No, I definitely disagree with that.
And
Okay,
This is
again,
not Pennywise.
it's just Skarsgård. I don't know why. It's just for me, I just have this issue where I just don't. I
It's
just
so-
see him.
It's so funny. So I'll bring up the context of our previous conversation. Just
Please do.
because it's kind of one of those things where I'm just going to say it like this. I'm convinced this particular problem that Ookami is having has something to do with some neurodivergent like quirk, because every single person I have talked to has been like, he disappeared into the role. I didn't even see him, and yet somehow this one gets one look in Bill Skarsgård's eyeballs and just like, hey dude, what's up? I think it's just a quirk. I think it's just a quirk you have, honestly, because everybody else is just like, was that Bill? Was that even Bill?
Do you think you
But-
would have had that problem if you hadn't known it was him going in?
So here's the funny thing. I didn't. Somehow, through the trailers I've seen and everything, I managed to miss the fact that he was... I had no idea who he was playing. I just knew he was in the film. Process of elimination led me to go, oh, okay, but as soon as it was like, okay, they're making this big deal, they're like really hiding it, and I went, oh, it's him. And then I saw it, and yeah, it's literally like, yeah, if like fucking Orlok was coming at my throat, I'd be like, hey, Bill! How you doing? Yeah.
So again, strongly disagree with you there, sis.
No? Yeah. Okay.
I partially agree. Physically, I disagree. I physically disagree with you. Partially on the voice, I agree. Because Orlok, his performance as Orlok was so well done. I was like blending in, but then the voice came in and like, not that I could tell it was him, and more, this is a goofy ass fucking choice. Whose idea was this? And then I saw it was Bill. I was like, oh, that explains it.
I thought it was a great choice for the voice.
Mhm.
It is, yeah.
Thing is, it's okay. Not specifically the voice. Like when he goes like into the deep like Latin voice, that's perfectly fine.
It was
It's
not Latin.
when he
That's
does
that's Doc, yeah.
Doc, right? I can't. I don't know dead languages. Blow me.
You wish.
Like when he goes into that voice, that's fine. It's when he has to, I guess, pretend to be human. So he's doing all the gasping and wheezing and the coughing, and it's like, I don't. It takes me out of it because I can't help but laugh. It's like the joke I made earlier. All I heard was Mr. Frump in the Iron Lung. That's all I heard. I couldn't hear anything else.
Well, okay, so in the defense of Daddy. Oh, Ookami slumped.
I know. I know the defense you're going for, and I get it, but it's also I can't help but laugh.
Even Roy's done with my shit right now. Look at that face.
That face, yeah.
That is the I am judging you face.
Listen, you all know I'm a monster fucker.
I mean, yeah.
Come on.
We're well aware.
We all know, yeah. You are part of
Yeah,
Monster
yeah.
Fuckers Anonymous. You just keep forgetting the anonymous part.
I mean
Oh.
that is basically you in that one hell of a boss short, isn't it?
Cast some spell on me.
Daddy.
No, well, I'm literally just standing here.
Get him, Pass, get him.
Away from my neck. You didn't even bite the neck, you bite on the heart.
So,
I can't get out of
the whole point, the
No
whole
button.
thing is like, I saw what Eggers was going for, and the thing is if you are used to very specific portrayals, either of Orlok or Dracula, you're probably not going to get what he was going for, because it was essentially a blend of two very specific elements, and that was trying to make Orlok, when he's trying to blend in with the husband character, as close to book accurate Dracula as possible. Like a lot of
and that
people don't.
includes the mustache.
Yes, that includes the mustache. Most people don't realize, unless they've read Bram Stoker's Dracula, that big fluffy like Slavic mustache, that's book accurate. That's book accurate as fuck. And it's
Like
meant to be like this very symbolic thing in the book of him being very old world, even for the time. And it's a symbol of his primal nature. And as far as
his
like
entire outfit is supposed to echo an old Romanian fucking Slavic lord.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it does.
Exactly. Right
The
down to
boyars.
right down to like the trim and the furs and the little emblems that are like pinned to his hat and his coat. Like it's very well done. Like
Got
when
the boots
you see
with the fur.
like when like the way my vampire loving heart fucking exploded when they finally get him into the dining room, and they just start moving in closer and closer and closer and closer, and I'm seeing all the details. I'm like, Eggers, buddy, are you trying to jerk me off? Because it feels like you're trying to jerk me off.
Zeren's like, hands check. Eggers,
Yep.
hands check.
Hands check. And when it comes to the voice, I actually thought the way they took the voice was brilliant, because when you watch the original Nosferatu silent film, there's all these visual cues, whether you're dealing with Orlok's teeth, the way his eyes bulge, the constant presence of rats that follow him everywhere, the almost rigor mortis way he moves. Everything is hinting at him being a very specific kind of vampire, which is Strigoi. And they actually and they actually use the word once in the film. And the thing with Strigoi is that they're folklorically speaking, they're a mix of vampire and ghoul. And their whole thing is that whenever they appear or whenever they awaken after a long slumber, they bring death, famine, disease, specifically disease.
They are
They
a
love
natural
Papa
disaster.
Nurgle. They love
They-
Papa Nurgle and his gifts.
Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much. I get that now. I get that now. Thanks, Varren. I get that now. And so I thought the voice was a brilliant way of taking a lot of those visual cues and enhancing it, because he just sounds diseased from the inside out with the way he speaks, and the way he speaks is emblematic of the way he looks, because his flesh is not only pale and pasty, but he has all these open sores and scars and patches of really rough skin, and you're just like, fuck, that is 100% Strigoi. Like, when I imagine like top tier vampire types, like, seriously, they just need a picture of him in this film and then put that next to the definition in the fucking dictionary. Like, it's just that fucking good. And for me, the voice was just an enhancement of what was already there visually.
And it also conveys, again, a lot, as you said, like the amount of disease. Like, he's literally a walking corpse in this one. Like, he's barely holding it together. Hence why he's having all of these breathing problems and looking like just a desiccated carcass when he has his fucking clothes off.
Because like we're a lot of us are used to the whole Dracula thing where in the books he actually, while he looks old, when he feeds he grows younger.
He's
Orlok
grown young.
He's gone young.
Yes. Whoa, he's grown young.
Yeah.
But the fact is here, he is literally just, a plague. He is the walking disease from Mummy 1999.
Mm-hmm.
He is the living embodiment of appetite consumption.
I am nothing but an
Appetite. Yeah.
Yeah, and that is completely fair. And it's one of those things that I think that's just my general thing with the movie. It's where I respect the choices and I like a lot of them, but there are some that kind of eat at me a little.
I agree. I feel one of the worst things is that we should have had Willem Dafoe don a plague doctor's outfit.
Wrong era.
Wrong era.
Okay. Okay.
I don't fucking care if it's the wrong era or not.
Okay, pass. But it would. I will agree with you to an extent, but for me, it would have been because that particular character had like fallen back into like alchemy and superstitious shit. It would have made a lot of sense to me if something like that had been hanging in the background.
Yeah.
Mask had been hanging in the background. Yeah. Also, because I want to see Willem Dafoe wear that and start dance walking around like in the memes.
Yeah. Speaking of voices, though, I want to give a quick shout out to cast member we haven't talked about yet, which is Ralph Innocent.
Yeah.
Who plays Dr. Severs in this one.
Dr. Severs.
This guy, whenever he shows up in a fucking movie, has the most captivating voice in anything.
And he's been in a number of Eggers movies as well.
He's been in The Veach. He's been in The Northman. He was the Green Knight in The Green Knight.
Yep.
And whenever he speaks, it's like a human bass subwoofer.
Oh, and we're gonna hear him again in this year because he will be the consumer of worlds. He's the voice of Galactus. If you're gonna get, yes, he.
Okay.
I didn't know that one actually.
Yes, he is. Really, with what you were telling me on the side, you didn't know. Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
But yes, that base is going to be. Well, because you don't want a voice that's kind of nasally like mine for a fucking eater of worlds.
Yeah.
You don't want to go, I am Galactus. I should just, if you're gonna do that, make me a cloud again.
Sounds like the
like,
monarch.
Because yeah, like as it was like in the Vitch, like as a father, he already had like a big striking presence, and even here as a doctor, he
Yes.
still like comes off as like very just commanding over everything.
Like his voice is intense and insane, but his acting of that character is very subdued, which is a great contrast. I love it to pieces. But
so good in it. He's so good in it because it's like
I feel I am bouncing with anticipation. Sorry.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like, so, Lily, baby, sweetie, you owned this movie. Absolutely owned it. This is Lily Rose Depp's movie. I don't care about the rest of like everybody else did freaking great. She drove this film.
She had to.
And when you when you consider everything that her life has been in the last couple decades and the films she's done and everything, I was like, I did not realize that she was like looking for a way to smash through the freaking glass that is the screen, but god damn it, she came through and she busted that shit down. And absolutely busted that shit down, and I loved her performance in this. No complaints. 10 perfect 10 out of 10 for me at least.
Yeah,
and
like speaking of someone who just disappears in their role, completely makes it her own as well. Like just with the way, even the body acting. Like at one point where she's like fucking convulsing all over the place and whatever, you know, like I read apparently like she used some kind of like Japanese dance form as inspiration for that, like just to let the soul fly or something like that. I can't quite remember how it was described.
It's one of those dance art forms that's well connected to kabuki theater, and when I saw her doing it, I knew exactly where it came from.
It is very kabuki.
Yeah, but it's the way how she's acting, the way how how Ellen is more presented in this as, you know, some instead of just the damsel in distress, she is like, you know, as we said before, like she's the one who actually made Orlok come back to this world in a way.
Yep.
Because she's psychic in this version.
She literally summoned him. She literally summoned him inadvertently, mind you. But she literally summoned him. Like she's the whole reason he's awake. Which in the original Nosferatu, she's just kind of there, finds the book on how to get rid of him, and then just takes it upon herself to save the town. Which I always felt like in the original movie, it's like, yeah, that's very noble of you, but like, girl, where's your personal stakes in all of this? There is none. In the original Nosferatu, there is no personal stakes for her doing what she does in her sacrifice. No, absolutely not. But in this one, there's tons of personal stakes. Like that was the biggest addition to the story that just made me go, yes.
Yeah,
I will. Like, yes. Strikers must be controlled.
God dang it.
They summon demons.
And so, you know, she explains at one point in the film, basically the opening scene, she'd always been a very strange child, and the older she got, the stranger it got. And whether or not you want to take what she was going through as some symptom of a mental illness or just being, you know, neurodivergent or whatever, like it's really open to interpretation. The one thing you cannot deny is both her and Orlok admit that when she called out for a companion, because every human around her, including her own family, were just like, you're too weird, we can't handle you. She called out to him and he responded and woke up out of a 100-year slumber.
Yep.
She summoned him like, you know, an old school film has a witch summon a demon. Like, what the fuck? And they just become connected in this
weirdest Tinder meetup ever.
Very, very much the weirdest Tinder meetup ever. And then as her life goes on, it's like they have this spiritual connection over a vast space, and Orlok's actually pretty chill with that for the time. And then she gets married, and he's just like, wait, no, you're mine. What the fuck are you doing? What are you doing marrying this asshole that basically takes away your attention from me? How come he's able to do this? Damn it, it's the power of love. Now I have to go over and squash it with the power of death. Like, that's the entire freaking thing. And when he gets there and he confronts her, the 3 days that are in the original Nosferatu, where she's just trying to learn the ritual to, get his ass, turns more into a ticking clock of her having to make a choice between, her husband and life and death and salvation. It becomes so intense during that time frame, and I love Eggers for actually upping the stakes on that. Like, it was fucking huge for me. I was on the edge of my fucking seat during that part of the film.
One of the things I want to add is that for whether it's Nosferatu or whether it's a Dracula movie, one of the things is Mia is a character where it's like, we need to, we got to feel for that character. That character needs to, if that character does really bad, like that actor just bombs, it's like it hurts the entire production. It's one of the big things, so yeah, like there was a lot riding on her performance, and she rose to that challenge. And yeah, especially if the thing that was that she was kind of called in later because Anya Taylor-Joy, but I can't remember if Anya Taylor-Joy was going to be playing Ellen or if was going to be playing
I think she was supposed to play
Mrs.
the
Harding.
best friend. Yeah.
Which, I mean, because I know that because I know Anya is, in many of his, and Anya's talented as well. Let's, I'm not
absolutely
disparaging, because Anya would be able to knock that out of the park as well. But yeah, it's...
I'm reading it here. Anya was cast as Ellen first. But
Ellen?
Okay.
But then she dropped out to go film Furiosa.
Yeah, it was scheduling conflicts, which happens all the time in Hollywood. There's no bad blood, nothing. But
but this was an excellent choice.
Yeah.
And oh my god. So funniest thing about me watching this film, I went to the theater by myself to see it. It was like me and 5 other people in the entire room, but I was the one sitting closest, so it felt like I was alone the entire time. And then it wasn't the gore, it wasn't the rats, it wasn't the vampire schlong, it wasn't even the necromancy scene, like the necromancing, the necrophilia.
The necrophilia.
I got a funny story about the schlong later.
It wasn't any of those scenes that freaked me the fuck out. You want to know what freaked me the fuck out? The thing that actually made me jump back in my seat?
What was that?
When her and her husband are having that fight, and she's losing her fucking shit. And it wasn't even the convulsing and the face contorting that did it. It was her going from absolutely losing her mind to that camera angle of her on the floor, switching into complete submissive voice and crawling towards him. I literally jumped back. I jumped back in my seat. Like, she was crawling towards me. Suddenly I was terrified of this tiny, meek little creature. And I'm just like, no, madam, I don't trust you. I can't right now. Whatever is having this effect on you, please don't. And then Nicholas Hoult stuck his dick in it anyway.
Yeah.
Which was hot. But at the same time, I'm like, you are a stronger man than me, sir. She crawled at me like that, and I was just like,
We've been talking a lot for the past 50 minutes. But Roy.
Yes.
Share your thoughts. What are your thoughts on this film?
as he burps.
Ah.
Gets a cough.
Okay, fair enough.
Get all the gas.
Sorry, consumption.
Oh.
It was the style at the time.
It was the style, yeah. No, it was a very, very. How long was this movie? Was it like $2?
$2.12.
Yeah, it was 212.
212, yeah.
It didn't feel like $2.12, which is amazing.
Mm-hmm.
To be quite honest.
Did it feel longer or shorter?
No, shorter.
Oh, that's good. That's good. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Sometimes it's like you gotta, because sometimes it'd be like, yeah, this didn't feel 2 hours. It felt
Mhm.
like 3.
Yeah.
Or, oh no,
And we have an extended cut on the Blu-ray.
Yeah, we got extended cuts. Yep.
Freaking 3
That's
hours.
like 4 hours.
That sounds...
4 hours right there. But I think Eggers did stick true to the movie and true to the script. Well, he did his own script, but he the mysticism behind the script is he kept true to. And one of my favorite scenes that he did was when Orlok reached out and the shadow covered the town.
Yes!
I love. Oh,
That was
That was
beautiful.
beautiful. Yes.
Yeah.
That exemplified what Orlok was.
It
Yeah,
reminded
just this
me
looming
of
presence over everything.
it reminded me of early in Bram Stoker's Dracula, where Dracula's shadow goes to and knocks over the ink pot
Mm-hmm.
while he goes and gets the locket.
It's
Very
more-
similar, and I'm like, I love it. I love the symbolism and all that.
It
was
more-
so
To me, it
good.
more reminded me of essentially taking the famous shot of the shadow in the original Nosferatu and kind of expanding it into its own, to the, like, its actual extreme limits.
Which is funny because they do an actual homage to that famous shot as
That's
well.
what I
in the
mean.
movie.
Oh,
Mhm.
yeah.
That's what I mean. Is that they start with just the homage, and then the more it plays with shadows, the more and more it goes
Mhm.
into
its extremes. Like, it's very beautifully done.
Mm-hmm.
But that does actually get me to the one thing that kind of threw me off, because in both the work of Dracula and in this movie, Dracula comes via a ship.
Yes.
Yeah.
There's a
the
Yep.
port. The way
Mhm.
that it's filmed looks like it came out like that the port goes out to sea, and it's been a while since I've done geography, but Europe is more of a landmass. Where
Germany
is
does
the
have
sea?
Germany does border the sea.
Yeah, Germany does border the
Okay,
sea.
so I guess it would be like northern Germany,
Yep.
Yeah.
bordering whatever that I don't know what sea that is. Is like, or if that's
The
like
North
the
Sea.
Atlantic.
North
the,
Sea.
Nor- the North Sea. Wow. Okay.
Yeah,
Mm.
hence
You
hence
You
why
get
all those
A plus
those
on naming that the North Sea.
yeah. But if you also know anything about the North Sea, then yeah, those waves are extremely fucking dangerous.
They are.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Hence why that journey is so perilous for them to get there.
Yeah. Okay.
Which that's in the
Oh,
ship also as one of my
and-
favorite shots, where just after the massacre is happening, and then the guy just like,
Mhm.
all right, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna take care of fucking Orlok, and you see him like coming towards the camera, coming towards the coffin,
coming
and then
towards the
Orlok
coffin.
you can see Orlok very subtly in the background, just like
Mhm.
moving behind him.
Yeah.
Also, Defoe wants the flamethrower.
The foe wants the
Who
what?
wants the what?
You heard me. Now move.
Yeah, that's also an addition that I really like, because in the original Nosferatu we didn't have really a Van Helsing character, as far as I remember.
True.
Mm-hmm.
No, it did not.
Like we had the Doctor, like that Ralph Ineson plays, but we didn't
Mhm.
really have a Van Helsing character, and now
Yeah.
we do with Defoe's character of
Mhm.
Albin Eberhard von Franz.
Yeah, because I do feel like, yeah, Abraham Van Helsing is one of the best parts of the story of Dracula, and I mean I love Dr. Seward, because that's who Ralph is basically playing the analog of. But I
Mhm.
do feel you need that, where it's like he is the very scientific mind. the this infection and all that, like this disease is not modern medicine's not working, what the fuck. And then he goes to his thing, it's like, time for magic shit.
Yeah.
Time to call in my old professor, who has gone a little bit off the deep end.
Grave. Real quick, Grave, you were trying to say something?
Well, I mean, you guys ended up saying basically what I was going to say, but
Oops.
yes,
Uh-oh.
that character, it's okay. That character is he's so fantastic, and as quirky and kind of funny as he is for a lot of the scenes, the scene at the end with Ellen, like right before she basically goes off to defeat Count Orlok, that scene was like the culmination of like so much build up to that point. And
yeah, because he's the only one who really believes in her.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that and like his dialogue about like, oh, in another time you would have been, like some kind of priestess and all this, but now this is what fate has brought you to.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a very sad scene, but at the same time, here he is, and he like believes in her 100%, and she's kind of like come to her own resolve, on what she needs to do to save everyone else. And that scene with like these two fantastic actors, it's
yeah, and again, like as I said, Franz is the only person in this movie that truly believes that Ellen is the key to taking down Orlok, because and even before that, like when it comes to Hutter, I had to just check out the name real quick that Nicholas Hoult was playing. Like Hutter, like he loves her, but he still believes he should be the one to take care of her fucking problems, even though at the end it is totally revealed, no, the only one who can resolve this conflict is her. She's the only one who has the power to do this shit. Like there's not gonna be any outside forces. No, the only one who can deal with her abuser is her.
Yeah.
Oh God. Okay.
Doc.
What do you got for you, Doc?
I'm hearing you guys talking about the ending, and I'm like, I'm glad you felt that way. To me, this ending felt flat.
As flat as Orlok's ass?
Orlok has
Sure.
hair?
Sure. Let's go with that.
Orlok has Hank Hill ass.
It's not. There's no slope. It's just plain. No, it's just. I was sitting. Okay, keep in mind, I was sitting there in the theater. It was the day after. I watched it the Saturday after, and I was sitting there watching this movie, and at the end, like all this emotion was building up, and all this was happening, and I was just sitting there like, "That's it." Like I don't know what was going on. Like, and for days after, I was trying to rationalize myself. Like, it's something me? It's the actual film? Like, I don't know what it was. And I think the problem that ended up happening in my brain was that the emotions that you guys got, I didn't get out of the ending scene. 'Cause to me, that ending sacrifice didn't come off as like a triumphant fight or whatever. It to me it came off as, oh, I gotta do that? Okay, take me. Like, the emotion felt flat for me. Even with like the Haggard chasing after her, and then at the end, it's beautifully done. Don't get me wrong. I will give the ending shot of her corpse holding the skeleton, very Death in the Maiden, very beautiful shot. But I sat there at the end of the movie. It's like, that's it. I didn't feel anything. That's just that's it. That's the ending. Okay. And
I
that's
mean,
the thing.
How many of us have not gone to have decided to go and get a booty call, and it turns out to be just, at the end you're just like, you've taken too long, everything else is a disaster, your day is ruined.
No, it's not even that. It's more just God damn it. No, it's not even that. It's just all this setup.
Oh my god, I fell over so hard I lost my tracking. Oh, it's not even tracking my lips right now. Okay, here we go.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it's
God
just
damn it, Paz.
all this build up.
Orlok
All
looks
it
better
was
in the
is,
dark.
like, it was going so well, and then the ending happens, and it's just like, okay.
Hey, here's my thing about the ending. The ending, the idea that Orlok is not really human. You have to understand, he is so far removed from his humanity that he logically should see this as a trap and should know, oh fuck, it's getting close. I need to go. But he's such in an animalistic state that is what kills him in the end, because it's like, like this, and like,
Okay,
fuck the
here's
sun,
the thing.
and
It's
then
not even Orlok that was the problem for me. I hate to say this, we were praising her, and I love her performance as well.
Really?
Yes, I'm going there, and God, here we go. To me, the way the sacrifice was set up, I thought it was gonna be more of a fight, I guess.
Okay, so here.
Nosferatu is in an action film, my dude.
Here we go. So, like Grave said, the whole priestess angle. Specifically, Willem Dafoe's character says that she would have been a priestess of Isis.
Yep.
If you remember who Isis is, married to Osiris, you know that she is a goddess closely tied to death. And you had gotten the Death and the Maiden visual, but like Roy said, this isn't about science. This isn't about action. Nothing Hutter does in his actions can actually solve it, because it is an esoteric issue. It is a magical issue. She had always been seen as someone who is not quite human. What that sacrifice was her embracing that side of herself.
Yep.
It was a death to her human flesh.
Yep.
Embracing her power to stop a deadly plague.
Yep.
Through esoteric ritual.
And you also have to understand, because she's not quite human and all that, Orlok made the mistake so many of us do. He stuck his dick in crazy.
See, the problem is that you tell me that, my image in my head, I thought it was gonna be more animalistic. But I'm sorry, Lily Rose Depp lays there like a dead fish.
She's also being drained
She's
from
thinking
her
of England.
family.
Yes.
She's lying
Even
back
before
and
that,
thinking of
though,
England.
before that, she was there just like, okay, come here. Like, no life, no
It was
nothing.
because it was about the ritual, and it was about the emotions, and it was about release. It wasn't about build up.
Yeah.
It's not meant to be sexy.
Her
even
do-
if I
No,
did
it's
find
not.
it was not meant to be sexy, even if I did find it sexy.
Her doing that, even just doing, hang on, Doc. Her doing that in that way, like literally just being like, okay, come here, would be a turn on to him, because it comes off as her giving in.
It's about submission.
Yeah.
And
That
vampires
was a
are always, everything about vampires is always a very possessive
guess.
Yeah,
thing.
that was a
I think it's
submissive act.
I think it was just mixed messaging. That, like, the messages got crossed in my way. Because I can see that, but also the way they set this up as like a true like noble thing, and it's like the messages got crossed, and I'm just sitting there like, okay.
And
Cool.
Yeah,
you know
I
what?
think you're
If it-
gonna
if
have
it-
to
if
watch
it
it a
did-
second time after this
You're gonna have to watch it.
conversation.
Yeah.
if it didn't if it didn't click the first time, that's okay. There are plenty of people who have had to watch this multiple times to know precisely what's going on. Because if there is one thing I will also praise this movie for, is even though it has a very slow pace,
Uh-huh.
every little thing that is said has a point.
Mm-hmm.
There is not a single sentence of wasted dialogue at all. Not
Oh, I
even
definitely
down to
added
the
that.
whole running like a goat joke. Like that actually comes back and has a point.
And here's the
Like-
thing, like, I don't hate it at the end of the day. I'm glad I saw it, but you're just like, oh, we need to watch it again. I kind of don't want to. Like, I'm
And
done.
that's fine.
Yeah.
And that's
done.
fine. I'm just saying, if you ever wanted to really get it, you might need your hand held, and that's okay.
It's more like
Xeiren will hold your
ah,
hand.
It's more like maybe this just isn't for me then. At the end of the day, I don't know. That's the worst part. I
Okay,
don't even know.
okay.
I mean, we could always
And-
Clockwork
and
Orange
that's-
you too.
Yeah.
But
And that's the thing. And that's the thing. That is the one thing I will say about this movie.
Mhm.
It is a great movie on a technical level, on a
Yeah.
writing level, on an acting level. It is by the fucking book a great movie.
Mhm.
Would I recommend it to everyone?
No.
No.
Absolutely the
No.
fuck not. Absolutely not.
That's why I gave
no,
the
no.
warning
This-
before, like before we went into spoilers, and said, "Hey, I highly recommend this film to people, but not everyone,
No,
because
not
no,
everyone.
there is so much in this that not everybody's gonna be able to go. I can handle that just fine. No.
Yeah.
There is a lot in this film that, like, either just on a story aspect people aren't gonna be able to deal with. There's gonna be stuff that, like, just visual wise they're not gonna be able to deal with. It is not a film for everyone.
I agree.
As she keeps trying to bite Varren.
Listen,
Yeah, I don't-
his avatar was slumping, and I'm like, I need to wake him up.
Sorry.
Just a little nibble.
I
Just
just
a
saw
little
it
nibble.
leaning forward, and the eyelids were doing the fluttery thing, and I'm like, I need to wake Varren up.
No. But again, what I also just really liked about the ending as well was in that moment when, you know, the sun is coming up. Orlok does get it, but no, he, like, the power that Ellen has over him,
Mm-hmm.
he's just able to still keep him sucking.
Yeah.
And then
It's
you
that
know,
goat
then
pussy.
and then the cock crows, and then it's all over. He starts bleeding from every orifice pretty much.
Did you just say the cock crows?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what it's called.
Yeah, when the first cock crows.
We're the first cock crows, yeah.
The sound of
Oh,
that's
Jesus
called a
Christ.
cock.
Sorry.
It's called a cock crowing.
Sorry. I mean, the scene we're talking about. The scene we're talking about, man. Come on.
No. Here's the thing.
Talking?
Here's the thing. Orlok got to do what Richard Pryor once said in one of his stand-up bits. He came and went at the same time.
True.
God,
And I will also give Eggers this for putting that much emphasis on the sound bite and not the sunlight. Because that whole
Mhm.
thing about vampires like getting killed by the sun was actually a mistake viewers came to the conclusion of
Mhm.
because
After
of
seeing
the original.
Yeah.
After seeing the
Yeah.
original, because there was no sound of the rooster crowing. They were like, there was just like a
Mm.
quick cut to like a shadow, and they falsely presumed it was the sunlight that made him evaporate,
Yeah.
and that's where we get that from.
Yeah.
Whereas Eggers is like, no, I'm gonna make damn sure that he is bathed in fucking sunlight for like a long time,
Mhm.
and it does nothing until that damn rooster goes off.
Mhm.
Yeah.
okay, maybe if I do watch it again, I'll get something. But it's a great movie. I'm glad I saw it once. While I watch it again,
It's definitely a film that you have to be in the proper mood for to watch and appreciate. because it has, it does have so many heavy themes that, there is no wasted dialogue. Something is always going on in it. So it's a film that demands a lot of attention. And if you're not in the proper headspace to pay that much attention to it, or you're just not in the right mood for the kind of film it is, I think a lot of aspects of it aren't going to stick the landing.
Yeah.
For me, like this is in the vying of being my favorite Eggers movie. Like, my favorite one has been The Lighthouse.
I still need to
for the
see
longest
that.
time. But
I've not seen The Lighthouse, but I do need to see it as well.
But
The Lighthouse
this
is so
one
good.
just how it handled everything, and just the things it does for the Nosferatu story, I'm just like so happy with that I'm just like, dang it, Eggers, like you're really making me choose here between two of my children here.
I haven't watched it.
But how do you like me lobster?
You like me lobster, don't you? Tell me you like
Do you
me
like
like
my
lobster.
lobster?
Yeah, I haven't watched other Robert Eggers movies, so I can't.
What?
Oh, come on,
Ookami.
man.
I smell a series.
Oh
Yes.
boy.
I smell
Yes.
a sitcom.
I'm sensing another series. What do you think?
Oh,
You know
Another
what?
Joe Bagos podcast? Oh man.
I think we could totally do an Eggers. We could do an Eggers series.
Never kill a seagull.
Yeah.
Never kill a seagull.
the
Oh,
shit that happens when I open my big fucking mouth.
The,
Oh no, the Robert Eggers podcast.
the House of Eggers.
The House of Eggers.
I was gonna go with Breakfast of Ham and Eggers, but you know.
A little too goofy. I really do want to. I think House of Eggers is actually a good name.
Yeah.
I think we have torn this thing to shreds, and if people are into it based on what we said, great. If not,
I could talk
and
more
they're
about it, but
scared, I
yeah.
understand.
It's like there's so much about this movie that I love. There's like I still feel the need to talk about stuff, but I'm also feeling the.
Yeah.
Yeah,
you're
there's-
good.
Someone sleep.
There is so much
I help
to
you.
cover here. I mean,
Yeah, like we haven't even gotten
We
into the
haven't
white horse
even
scene.
Stop that.
or the esoteric scene.
Fine.
Yeah, although still also one of my funnier things in this movie was just like after, like, Franz has one look at Ellen, is like, yep, no, this woman is possessed.
Yep.
What do you mean? What do you mean none of you came to that conclusion? She's clearly possessed.
Well, I love when he's talking to her friend's husband, when he's talking to him, and he's like, oh yeah, like, you show all of these signs, like this, yeah, you got the woman in your house and this and that, and he's like, looks at him and he goes, the bag's under your eyes, you're very fucking tired, my friend.
Yes.
You're so tired. So that all of that was all of Defoe's lines were fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and yeah, oh god, that shot of the horse and the carrot. Oh, that was great.
Which has bases in folklore as well.
Yep. Oh yeah.
And we haven't gotten to the gypsies yet.
Oh god,
Romani.
the
Yeah.
gypsies, everything, all of it was.
Yep.
Yeah, no, but that's, people, check out this film if you can handle it. Again, we do recall, we did say, aside from the necrophilia.
Yeah, we kind of glossed over that for a bit.
Listen.
No one wants to dwell on
Rigor
that.
mortis
No.
makes it harder.
I dwell on it all the time.
Well, you are a vampire.
Yeah, no, that was literally even a discussion I had with Xeiren, where I'm like, I could have done with that being a little more hinted at rather than just, here you go.
Hint to that, Eggers? Are you kidding?
Yeah, I wanted a little more subtlety, and I
Right.
was dumb for that.
Not from Eggers.
Not from Eggers. No.
Because I'm like, I remember watching that in theaters and being like, okay, cut.
We even. We
Cut.
even.
Like, yep, he's going for it. Oh,
Cut.
he's going for it.
Listen. I know it's not for everyone, but my little period literature, gothic literature loving heart absolutely adored that scene because it was giving me Poe. It was giving me Emily Dickinson.
Oh, fair enough.
It was giving me Charlotte Bronte.
Yeah.
It was giving in a very specific way. Again, like for me, a lot of why this film was so good was because of like the literary stuff it pulled from. And that whole thing was giving me Heathcliff at the grave.
Wait,
levels
Heathcliff,
of
the
passion.
Orange Cat?
No. Dingus. Withering Heights.
Oh, don't make me laugh. Don't make me laugh.
And his chest is breaking.
Heathcliff, no one should terrorize the neighborhood. The fact I still remember the song.
I know.
Don't make me laugh.
I
Don't make me
know.
laugh.
I knew immediately. I was like, I
Breathe, right.
Like, yeah, that's it. That's the right song.
Oh, hun. Breathe.
Uh,
Okay.
Oh no! Oh no!
And now that Roy is spent, we should probably let him rest.
Yeah.
I think Roy needs a cigarette.
no.
No, that's the opposite of what he needs.
I think he needs his heart. I think he needs his heart medication at this point.
Oh, good Lord.
Okay.
And with all that said,
With all of that said, Xeiren, where can people find you?
surprisingly enough, TikTok is still around, so you can find me there. You can find me also over on Blue Sky. And as let's see, what else? Instagram and Threads, even though I've really slowed down there. And of course, you can find me here with all of these guys doing our shit here, as well as every Monday, being on Varren's Twitch streams, driving him cuckoo bananas with my shenanigans.
Excellent. Ver?
Well, as she says, you can find me over on twitch.tv/VarrenKimbled, where every Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 8 p.m. Central European Time, you can see me play all kinds of fun games. Mondays are RPGs with this red-haired menace here, as I'm also slowly being eaten by another fucking Nosferatu here. Wednesdays, strategy shooter, something else with an S, and Fridays I play whatever the hell I can find. You can also find me over on Blue Sky as VarrenKimbled. You can also find me over on YouTube at VarrenKimbled for VODs and compilations of the streams. Probably should see if try doing some more compilations again, but you know, editing time. It's a thing I don't have. And I also still have TikTok around. Little less active there again. There might be some changing happening to what I used to do on there, but that's maybe a story for another time.
Excellent. Grave, where is the turtle today?
I'm finding homes for all those poor little rats that Orlok so rudely abandoned.
They're gonna train a lot of Ninja Turtles.
They're led by a super rat called Ben.
God damn it.
And the two of us.
Us.
Why does everybody want to eat me?
God damn it, Roy.
Roy, where can people find you?
Excuse me. You can find me here on the Red Light Podcast. Your home video is my horror. And a little shindig I like to do called The Starlight, rare, obscure, hard to find. Find me here. Got some love mail, some hate mail, some Nosferatu mail, some Dacian mail, some Romanian mail, some disease mail. Send it to Starlight Podcast at protonmail.com. You can also contact me over on X at Starlight Production. I gotta look. I am so sick right now.
doesn't know his own
R.O.P.
handle anymore.
Starlight.
RLP Starlight. Thank you. Excuse my illness. I also do lists and reviews over at criticlist.com. Go check it out. Have fun. Doc.
You can mainly find me here at Wolfson Productions. You can also find me at, again, with like Roy said, at the Red Light and the Starlight. When I'm not here, I am on still kind of on critic lists over under Chaotic Doctor. I haven't done much in a while. Life. And the few times you can't find me on social media posting on thoughts, I'm over on Blue Sky
Over the ears.
You forgot the over the years.
Over the years.
Right. Yeah, I do that too. I
Yeah,
host
your
it.
fucking project.
He forgets his own thing.
What do you think I'm doing here?
I'm fucking tired. Blow me.
I
No.
wish.
No.
Not unless you look like Bill Skarsgård.
Oh, I forgot the penis story.
You know what? Yeah, go ahead. Pass. We'll get to you in just a second because this penis story is
Yeah,
hilarious.
no. I was gonna be like, no,
It's
no. You.
it's
don't-
very it's very short, unlike the penis. But Nicholas Holt has the penis prosthetic, and he has it framed in his house.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he
they-
took Bill Skarsgård's penis prosthetic.
Yep. Well,
Apparently
Eggers gave it to him.
yeah, as a rap gift. Yeah. Apparently it was because when they were doing the scene where Orlok was feeding on, was like, "How you feeling?" But it was like, "I can feel his penis on me." And thus, as a rap party, he framed it. He gave him the prosthetic dick as a gift.
He fucking framed it. Oh my god. Alright, pass.
I love that guy.
That's amazing.
All right. Well, you can find me on Twitch at twitch.tv/pass_the_remote. You can also find me YouTube pass_the_remote. And you can find me on Blue Sky, Pass the Remote. And you can find me on what is now the desiccated husk of Elon Musk's ego power trip, known as Twitter.com. You find me there on Pass the Remote CF. Find me doing, on Twitch doing, riff shenanigans with Ookami, and on social media doing just social media shenanigans and stuff like that. That kind of stuff.
Excellent.
I'm also on Kick, but I don't do that a whole lot.
No.
Maybe I should do something on Kick.
Anyways, you can find me here under Wolfson Productions here on YouTube and on Podbean. From goofy ass anime to the shocking horror, Wolfson Productions, your #1 stop for equally nerdy reviews of nerdy media. And if you head over to Blue Sky, you can find me under Mistress Ookami. That's right, Mistress Ookami. That's my name. Don't wear it out. And if you're feeling extra generous, you can head on over to our Wolfson Patreon. We can get access to episodes that may or may not drop to the general public, episodes that most certainly do not drop to the general public, behind the scenes, all sorts of goodies, all for a measly $1 a month. Remember, folks, your $1 a month goes a long, long way. And finally, check out this movie. Good movie. That's it for tonight. This was a longer one, but we will see you all.
Just like Bill Skarsgård's penis.
We will see you all in the next one. I will actually go ahead and preview for it, let you know. Our next episode is going to be on the Wolfman.
Ooh.
That latest
Yes,
one.
Roy's life story.
Yeah.
Yeah, boy.
Is this gonna be Wolfman Roy behind the blow? Good night, everybody.
Wolfman like,
Cocaine.
cocaine. Cheese to meet ya.
Thank
Don't
you
stick
for
your dick in a
coming to
mousetrap.
my birthday party. You are the only ones who RSVP'd.
Forgot about that one.
Hope you brought a Lego Star Wars TIE Fighter.
Oh my god.
I was hoping for the Switch 2 personally. I think it's going to have a new Mario Odyssey game.